What is going on, guys? Rob here from FlightSimToday, and in this video we're going to be doing a quick review of the FS2Crew Flight Crew A320 button control from Microsoft Flight Simulator. For those that don't know, FS2Crew have been around for some time now, and they create a full crew interaction, both button controlled and voice controlled in some instances, in huge great detail. But for this one, the price for it's €19.95, which I think is pretty cheap compared to the others, but there are reasons for that, simply because it is button controlled and it's more of a quick immersion from, it's almost that point of having nothing or going to more that expert level of having it all. You're kind of on the more beginner side of things for this. But yeah, it will work with P3D and FSX as well, and with the Airsoft, Airbus and FS Labs if you do have them. But for us, obviously, we're using Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020, so that's what we're looking at. And it works, say, with the Airbus seamlessly. It's based off real-world A320 checklist. You get the call-outs, you get the flight crew interactions, you do get the 3 voice sets, which I think is pretty neat. So it's US, UK and the EU, but as you can see there, it's German pilots with a local German dialect. You get the PA system from the cabin crew, the cabin crew communications. You can do your own communications as the captain via their own audios, rejected takeoffs, everything. It's all in this. There are some limitations due to the flight simulator, I will point out. And as you can read here, is that the first officer is currently unable to do some of the tasks. For example, during the shutdown flow, they would normally turn the fuel pumps off. It can't do it on here. But the guys at FS2Crew do promise that as the SDK becomes more readily available, as it were, or makes more sense in simple terms, they'll update the product as they go as well. So that's good of them there. Then we'll look at the installation / documentation. So you've purchased the product, and now basically you access the product from the completed orders and find your order from there. And then once you arrive there, you can download it. It's 201 meg, so super easy to download from here. Once you've downloaded it, you get your FS2Crew information, the product here from that. So you'll just basically install it from here. The README is just where you can get support from FS2Crew team. There is a checklist, so 1-page checklist that you can print off and use should you wish, which is pretty neat to have actually for the standard Airbus. And then the manual. Now, the one thing I like about this, it's 14 pages long and that's it. There's no fluff. It's literally, here's a product, this is how you use it, on you go. So it just covers the installation and then also the key assignments. Super important. You need to set your main checklist button and the secondary button. If you wish to use this as well, you can do. For me, I just toggle back and 2 into the panel, but these 2 are super important when you're setting them up. And it does tell you here, I mean, if you use the others as well, so P3D and FSX, it shows you how to set these up. But literally it's going to go through and showing you all the panel of what's what. So definitely before you jump in, read this. Okay, understand it. Yes, it's simple enough that you're pressing buttons to go through checklist, but you want to understand when, how, the timings, what the whole panel does. It's 14 pages, guys. It's not that big. Read it, get through it, understand it, and you'll enjoy the product much more. But with that said, let's jump in the sim and let's go and see the panel in action. Okay, so here we are in the sim with FS2Crew A320 open. One thing to note is once you have the aircraft loaded, then you need to load up just by clicking the icon on your desktop or wherever you've got it there and load it up. A few things to run through. Again, they're all in the manual, but the little icons here. So you've got the about page, so again, how to contact them, manuals, etc. The hotkey assignments, so it shows you, if you're not sure, again, it tells you what to set up from there in terms of your main, your secondary and things. You got your settings panel, so you can change the output. So for example, if you've got two different speakers, you can have the simulator sound coming out of your main speakers and then the actual FS2Crew sound within your headset. And then obviously you can change the cabin crew PA if you want to hear that as well. Again, crew accents, depending on where you are around the world at the time, you can change the crew accent. Depending on what flap configuration you're taking, you change it in here. A few checklists is if you don't click a switch and the first officer's told you the checklist, if it's not there, they'll check it. But all the others, again, they'll auto respond, so you don't have to do any of the main buttons if you just want to hear the information. Depending on the altimeter, you've obviously got hectopascal, but yeah, your QNH, your altimeter. Again, and under miscellaneous, it depends on how you want the FS2Crew to react. So door control and jetway control, it will automatically control the jetway. So during your pre-flight, which you'll see in the example as we go through this, during your pre-flight, it will disconnect the jetway automatically when you tell the cabin crew to close the doors. So which is pretty cool. But yeah, you can see here, if you, by default, the start sequence is 2 then 1. If you want to go the other way, you can change that here and have it go from 1 then 2. And then this is where during the readback and the checklist, it confirms your takeoff speed. This is where you will put them in. So when you look down at your CDU at that point, you'll just input them there, and that's where it takes that information from. So the settings is there. Then you've got the PA, so you can perform PAs during the usage. So welcome, which I do have the example in the welcome, but you can use all these as well. You can call the purser. I don't think I should have clicked that, but you can call the cabin crew basically. There you go, and you can do all this from there. If you do want to start the pre-flight, it's this one here, and then it counts down 30 minutes prior to pushback. So what happens is, and I think you will see that in the example that hopefully when I show you when we at the pushback or start pushback and takeoff, the departure, this becomes a plus, and you can then skip time forward as well from the 30 minutes. You don't have to have the full 30 minutes, you can skip that through. And then here you can skip the before start checklist and move forward and backwards in the checklist. But this, literally, you don't have to press this button if you don't want to. This is your main button that you set. This here is your secondary button. So, as an example, being when you come to check the QNH from the local QNH, for example, the altimeter to standard, you'll press the secondary, not the main. And yeah, you get the idea from there. But again, read the manual. So from here, I'm going to give you a full example. We're going to go from a cold and dark in the A320 with the pre-flight. I have cut bits down to save time, and I also had a slight issue during the takeoff within the sim, so I've cut that bit out, but you will get an idea of me using FS2Crew from startup to departure. So that said, let's jump straight into it.
Let's start setting up, shall we?
Okay.
Hi, the security and safety checks are all done. Are we good to start boarding?
Yes, you can start boarding.
Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, hello to you from the flight deck. This is the captain speaking. I'd like to extend a very warm welcome to you aboard our flight today. Lovely to have you with us, and nice to see some of our frequent flyers as well. Just a note about our seatbelt policy. Whilst the signs are illuminated, please do ensure that your seatbelt is fastened. Once we get airborne, I do anticipate we'll be able to turn the seatbelt sign off, at which point you'll be free to get up and move about the cabin. However, we would advise that whilst you are seated, you keep your seatbelt fastened and visible just in case of any unexpected lumps and bumps. Have an excellent cabin crew team on board with us today. They shortly will be showing you a video briefing you on the safety features and procedures for this Airbus aircraft. Would ask that even if you are a frequent flyer, you do pay close attention to that briefing, as every aircraft is slightly different. Thanks very much once again. I'll leave you in peace for now and hand you over to the cabin crew for that demonstration, and we'll be on our way very shortly. Thank you.
Hi guys, here's the load sheet for you.
Thanks.
No problem, have a safe flight.
Hey guys, all packs are on board. Are we clear to close?
Yep.
Thanks, let me know if you need anything.
Before start checklist.
Cockpit prep.
Completed.
Completed. Gear pins and covers.
Removed.
Signs.
On and auto.
ADIRS.
Nav.
Fuel quantity.
Set.
Takeoff data.
Set.
Baro ref.
1022 set.
1022 set. Down to the line.
Below the line.
Windows and doors.
Closed.
Closed. Beacon.
On.
Thrust levers.
Idle.
Parking brake.
On.
Before start checklist complete.
Starting engine 2. Starting engine 1. After start checklist.
Anti-ice.
Set.
ECAM status.
Checked.
Pitch trim.
%25 set.
Rudder trim.
0.
After start checklist complete.
Flight control check.
Full up. Full down. Neutral. Full left. Full right. Neutral.
Rudder.
Full left. Full right. Neutral.
Clear left side.
Clear right side.
Brake check.
Pressure 0.
Before takeoff checklist.
Flight controls.
Checked.
Checked. Flight instruments.
Checked.
Checked. Briefing.
Confirmed.
Flat setting.
Config 1 plus F.
Config 1 plus F. V1, VR, V2, flex temp.
V1, 1, 2, 3, VR, 1, 2, 9, V2, 1, 3, 3.
V1, 1, 2, 3, VR, 1, 2, 9, V2, 1, 3, 3, ATC.
Set.
ECAM memo.
Takeoff no blue.
Down to the line.
Below the line.
Cabin crew, be seated for takeoff. Takeoff runway.
Confirmed.
Confirmed. Cabin crew.
Advised.
Engine mode selector.
Normal.
Packs.
On.
Before takeoff checklist complete.
Ready?
Ready.
Takeoff. After takeoff, climb checklist.
Landing gear.
Up.
Flaps.
Retracted.
Packs.
On.
Down to the line.
Set standard.
Standard. Cross-checked. Passing flight level 055.
Now. Check. below the line.
Baro ref.
Standard set.
Standard set. After takeoff checklist complete.
So all in all, how do I feel about FS2Crew, the A320 button version in Microsoft Flight Simulator? Well, I think I do love it. You know, I've used other options from FS2Crew in the past, a lot more detailed, you know, with the voice options as well. And so this is a more simple version of that. But with that said, it does add a hell of a lot of immersion for what is said a pretty low price, really, when you think you've got all the crew sets, a bit of more configuration in there. And like I say, overall, it does bring that immersion. The one thing I would like to see added in this is that ground crew interaction. They do have the ground crew capability with other products, so it would be nice to actually see it implemented into this program, because, you know, like a lot of us, I don't know about you guys, but I don't actually use the built-in pushback as such. I just use Shift P. So you could use the secondary button, for example, for the ground crew interaction. But I know one thing they do is they're constantly updating this. It may be an update in the future that they bring into it. But, you know, if you want to use the default A320 and add a lot more immersion into your sim, definitely get this, guys. It's really, really cool, and super simple to use. So how do I rate it? Well, out of 5 stars, I think I'm going to give it 4.5. Like I say, it's not quite there for me in terms of the ground handling and what their other products do. But take into the fact that the price of it compared to their other products as well, you know, it's hard to balance that. But again, if they update it in the future, this could be a 5 out of 5 program. Super price, super simple, and overall super good. So if you enjoyed this review, please do leave a like, you know, and let me know your thoughts in the comments below on what you think of the product.